Hello, everyone. David here. Welcome back to the DGR podcast. This is episode number 59. Hope you're all doing well. I'm going to do a solo pod today. I'm going to have a chat about some questions that I got, just answer some questions. And I've been getting lots of these type of questions. We're going to talk about like confidence, clarity, criticism, motivation, coaching in the industry, working in the industry. What else? Have some of these written down. Buy-in from your clients and your peers and all this stuff. So I've been getting tons. Something must be in the air in January because people are asking lots of these type of questions. I suspect it's because people are like thinking about their goals ahead for the year ahead and like reflecting on the year and reflecting on them as a person and a coach and a therapist in the industry. And so I've been getting lots of these type of questions, and I've done some business consultations with other people in the industry recently, and they've been kind of asking some of these types of questions as well. So I have kind of have them stored up, and I wanted to do just an episode where I go through a few things, and I think it will hopefully be helpful for a lot of people. And we all have these issues maybe with clarity or confidence or motivation or things like this. So hopefully it will be helpful. Don't worry, it won't be like self-helpy, like guru-y type of stuff. I don't think, at least I don't want it to be. Hopefully it'll be practical. Coming to the end of January now. Unfortunately, I recorded an episode with Coach Chris round 2, and my audio was a mess for some reason. It was like unusable. So we had to bin that one. So I'm really disappointed about that. It was really, really, really good podcast. Anytime you get to talk to Chris for an extended period of time, there's a lot of wisdom in there, and really fun too. Oh, did I just turn this off? Hang on. Okay, I'm back. And so it's a pity about that. Jeff was our last episode, and then we're going to pop this one up, which you're listening to now. January has been going really, really well for me. I've been really enjoying myself. I've been in, I think, when one or two things go well for me, a lot of things go well, and one of them is like, actually one main thing, to be honest, is a lot of the time is sleep for me, if I can. And not even sleep, like not even the most important thing for me is getting up early. If I can make sure I get out of bed early, then obviously that means like I will go to bed early. So, but the reverse isn't necessarily true. Like I could go to bed early and then still like lie in bed for half an hour or something in the morning when I wake up or things like that. So like getting up early, and that is combined with getting out of the house like quickly enough, and going for a walk early. If I can do that, it seems like my mood is way better. I get that movement in. I go for a walk with Kira usually if I can, and Roxy, and like that's a really good start to the day. And we're starting off getting that in rather than like rushing to do the first thing of the day. So getting up early is a massive thing for me. My diet is going pretty well. I've been tracking my calories, not religiously, but tracking them on my Fitness Pal, and not religiously, but just keeping an eye on it. Even doing that is helpful for me. I've been doing some training. I've been much more strict with my hours of work. Like, okay, not allowing myself to just spend all day working, or like saying, oh, sure, I can just do that when I sit in the couch later on tonight. No, this is the period of time where I have to work, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's been good. So I think I've had more structure in my days, getting my steps in, getting up early, which means I go to bed like and actually sleep. Get my steps in, get my walk in, getting some time with Kira and Roxy in the morning, getting to work, like having my little to-do list, my 2 or 3 main points that I need to get done, getting my clients done, eating well, getting my training in, like all of those things. None of them are difficult to do, but it's just being consistent, getting my posts on Instagram done, get my podcast, not so much, but yeah, so things are good, and I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to our trip to Australia in a couple of weeks. I can't wait to meet everyone. The Melbourne, I'll just say it now. Actually, Melbourne workshop is sold out. Sydney workshop number 1 is sold out, but then the second week, I think there is a few slots left, not many. So if you're still if you're still on the fence, now is a good time to jump in there. And then the Melbourne, on the Thursday before the Melbourne workshop, I'm going to do a business presentation with Jamie Smith. He's going to do one. I'm going to do one. We're going to do kind of a very small group. So there's a couple of tickets left for that if you want to join us on the Thursday. I don't know exactly the date. You can find it there if you're interested. It's let me see. Oh, I have my calendar up there in front of me. So that was Tuesday 31st first. I think it's Thursday the 2nd. That event is on, and I'll be going through like basically everything in my business, how I think about it, what my business model is, what it's going to be, what I'm working it towards, all the way like from that kind of bird's eye view all the way down into the day-to-day stuff that I try and think about when I'm posting on Instagram, working with clients, all those things, and just how to make some money online. So yeah, so that's going to be Australia. I can't wait for that. My dad is actually over there now at the moment. My sister lives in Sydney. He went over to visit her, so he sent me a picture from Bondi Beach the other day, and I'm a little bit jealous of that because it's been very cold here, but we will be there very soon. So okay, where are we going to start? We'll start with this. Any tips for dealing with criticism for people from people on Instagram? It's quite an easy answer, I think. Easy answer, less easy to adhere to, maybe, but definitely not easy to adhere to, but it is an easy answer for me. And I would say, don't accept criticism from someone that you wouldn't take advice from. So when you look at that person, like, and they have an egg as a profile picture and an anonymous account, and they're criticizing what you're saying about some movement or something like that, like, would you take advice from an egg? No, they don't even have a profile. So like they're ruled out immediately. So don't take criticism from them because you wouldn't take advice from them. Then there's like the next category, which is some random go-to coach or something like that. When you look at them, they look very angry a lot of the time. And not just, I don't mean just them, like not all of them, but like, for example, they're very angry. They're very like, okay, this is the way things have to be done. Like everyone, this. So like, would you take advice from that person? Absolutely not. They don't even have their own life together. Never mind understand the nuances of movement. They've just been told something from someone and that's their religion. So would you take advice from that person? You wouldn't. So why would you take criticism from them? Okay. And then but it does go the other way as well. So the next level is like, okay, here's someone you respect who's maybe giving you criticism, and it might not be like attacking you, but they're saying like, I'm not sure I agree with that. Here's someone that looks like they know what they're doing. They've been doing this for a while. And that could go for the previous, like, go-to coach or any of these people. Like maybe they do know what they're talking about. Maybe this person seems to have their head screwed on. So maybe you would think, okay, maybe I would take advice from that person. Maybe I would consider that. So maybe I should also consider their criticism. And if it is someone like that you respect who is saying, I disagree with that, I disagree with what you're saying there, then they probably have a reason for saying that. And maybe you should actually, like, it's not about dealing with the criticism. It should be like, okay, I actually need to analyze myself and what I'm saying in this situation and thinking, maybe I'm not quite getting that thing right. Okay. So that's what I would say. I think a nice filter. And look, don't get me wrong. Like, I struggle with this. We all struggle with this. No one likes to be criticized. Like, so it's as simple as that. But I tried to be unemotional, and that happened recently enough. And I actually was so proud of myself. It wasn't just me reminding myself, okay, like, don't worry, this is just someone on the internet saying stuff. It was actually like, I was completely unemotional about what they were saying, like couldn't give a crap. Now, partly was because that person looked a little bit like a serial killer or some kind of psychopath or something. I was like, this person is just yeah, they look like a serial killer. And like, I take advice from them? No. So like, what they're saying doesn't actually matter. So that's what I would say. Good proxy. Would you take advice? No. Then don't take criticism. Would you take advice? Yes. Then, okay, let's understand their criticism and try and maybe improve our own point of view. Second one, building clients, or sorry, any suggestions for building confidence with clients? I think this just comes from working with clients. So confidence, I actually think Alex Hormozy has the best take on this by a country mile. He nails a lot of stuff, and I think that he has the best take on this by far with regards to confidence. And I don't have the quote in front of me, but it was something like, you don't build confidence by shouting in the mirror saying like, I'm the man, or talking to yourself in the mirror saying, I'm the man, I'm going to be confident. You build confidence by doing the thing over and over and over again, and building a ton of proof to yourself that you actually are the person that you say you are. So like, I can tell myself in the mirror all I want, like, I am a great golfer, and then I go out and I keep telling myself I'm a great golfer, and I keep fucking hitting the thing into the trees. So like, I know I can try and trick myself, but ultimately I am not a great golfer. Now, equally, like, there is self-talk and things like this. Like, it is important. Like, it is important not to be putting yourself down all the time. Definitely, if I always tell myself like, I am a shit golfer, like, there's only one thing is going to happen, is I'm definitely going to hit the ball into the trees. So like, there's a balance, obviously, and some people are better at finding that balance and just accepting what they are and moving on. But ultimately, the only way you actually realize, or you can actually be honest with yourself and accept and have the confidence to say, I am good, I'm a good coach, I'm a good therapist, is by proving it to yourself, not by asking me or asking someone else to help with your confidence. It's getting in there, it's getting your wins, getting your losses, and building that proof to yourself over time. I'm good at this. I am really good at this. I'm getting better at this. I'm not always perfect. I never will be perfect. There will be times when I struggle, but I am good at my job. And that's how you build confidence, I think, is doing the thing and getting proof of, yeah, here we go. I'm good at my job. So are you who you say you are? The answer is yes or no. And only you really know that. Like, you can put on confidence, but only really you know that. I do think that there is a time and place to be the type of person that says like, I am really good at this, even if you don't have the proof for yourself, and even if it's a little bit of a kind of a lie. And I suppose to go back to I just mean to say that to yourself, not to say it to others, but like, even to go back to the previous thing about what I'm saying about like getting up early, for me, it's really important. Really, really important. Like, it sounds such a simple thing, but I know like my life, big part of my life would be really good if I could just stick to getting up really early and going for a walk. I would feel great. How simple is that? So like, do I tell myself like, I want to get up early? No, I try and say like, I'm an early riser. If someone asks me like, are you an early riser? I would say, yes, I am an early riser. I identify like that. That's something from James Clear's Atomic Habits, I think. Like, he talks about like, I say, I want to, or I'm trying to. It's like, I am. There's a big difference between saying I'm trying to give up chocolate for Lent, or I'm trying to not eat chocolate, and I don't eat chocolate. So like, you go to someone's house, you're on a diet, you're trying to cut your calories, trying to lose weight. You've decided chocolate is one of the things you need to cut out. They offer you chocolate. You saying to them, no, I'm trying not to eat chocolate, it does leave that. This happened to me recently. It does. Someone poured me a glass of Bailey's when I went over to someone's house to help out with something. I just wanted to do a couple of movements with them. They're quite unwell, and I was trying to help out a little bit. And their dad poured me a glass of Bailey's, asked me like, do you want a glass of Bailey's? I heard you like Bailey's, and only happened a few days ago. And I was like, no, I'm what did I say? I'm like, no, I think I'm like, I'm trying to do dry January. No alcohol for me for January. And I haven't had any. And he was like, go on, you'll have one. And I was like, okay, go on. And I had a glass of Bailey's, and like, not the end of the world, and like a small bit of Bailey's or whatever. But like, I know that situation would have been much better if I said, I'm not like, I don't drink in January, or I'm not drinking this January. Or like, yeah, I don't drink in January. I don't drink. Or I don't drink on Wednesdays or something like that. Not like I'm trying not to. So building confidence with yourself is getting the proof that you are the type of person that you say you are, or that you want to be, and that comes from doing. But then there is that kind of gray area, like James Clear talks about, where they say like, I am instead of I'm trying to. And that is honestly, that is like, I know that sounds self-helpy, but that did help me massively last year with my content creation on Instagram, putting stuff up. I changed the conversation from like, I changed it to kind of like, I post every day like that. I just do it. I don't stress about it. I don't think about it. It's not a question. I just like, I post every day. Doesn't mean I do post every day, but that's my attitude to it. So I post every day. I'm trying to do this, or like, I really want to do this. No, I am that person. Okay. So confidence, go and do the thing. Prove it to yourself. Next one. Where do you get the motivation to continue to want to improve as a coach? I don't always have the motivation to continue to want to improve. I definitely go through periods where I really couldn't be arsed like studying anything or anything like that. Luckily, I think if you're working with clients, like if you just continue to work with clients and see different types of people, you're going to continue to improve regardless. Hopefully, at least if you're giving your attention to clients, which you will look at some coaches on the gym floor in particular, and therapists as well, actually, where like they're just completely going through the motions. So when I'm with a client, like I try my best, and I hope a lot of my clients would say this about me, but maybe there would be ones that would say differently, but I really hope they would all say like, even if we struggle to get the result that we wanted, which of course is going to happen, that like I gave it my all. I really did. And I think if you're giving it your all, you will improve. So luckily, you don't necessarily need motivation to always be like trying to improve. Just putting yourself in the situation, I think will help you improve. If you're intentional, and if you're intentional and you're giving it your all. In terms of like studying and watching videos and listening to things, I don't always have the motivation, but I also don't really rely on motivation. And sometimes you need a break, but like, I don't always rely on motivation. I don't rely on motivation at all, actually. I just feel like if you're a coach or a therapist in the industry, you have a moral obligation to your clients, to yourself, and to your craft, and to your soul, to your inner being, to in whatever way you want to think about that, it's fine. But like, you have a moral obligation to improve, to do your very best, to get better at your thing, to do better so you can help your clients more, so you can not show your peers, but like, so that you are propping up the industry, or you're being the 1% that's helping it get off its knees, and helping your clients get off its knees. And like, I think, and I haven't necessarily always had that attitude in the past, like even if I had jobs like back in fucking working at McDonald's, which I did, different things like that, I would have been like looking for the shortcut kind of, or like, oh, I don't give a shit about this job. I'm just going to like write it out here and just do not the minimum necessary, but certainly not like go above and beyond or anything like that. And I don't mean being teacher's pet or anything, but like, I should have been doing my best for me. I should have been making sure that I'm proud of myself when I'm leaving, like I'm doing a really good job. And sometimes I wasn't doing that. So I think and that honestly, I think that just hurts us at the end of the day. Personally, it hurts us to leave and not actually know that we did our best. And that means in our work life, in our relationships, in our business stuff, all that stuff, you really get something when you really just do your best. Even if you win or you lose, it doesn't matter. If you know, and that goes like 100% goes back to sport. Losing hurts. I'm a very competitive person, but there's probably games where I look back and like, fucking hell, like I actually had more to give and I didn't give it. And that is the annoying part, not the losing necessarily. The losing hurts at the moment, but the other thing kind of lingers on. So where do you get the motivation? Forget about that. Just you have a moral obligation to improve. Just remember that you have a moral obligation to improve as a coach. You 100% do, to yourself and to your clients and to the industry as well. So if more people had that attitude, we'd be in a better place, I think. Okay. Next one. As a coach in the industry, do you think wages should increase and coaches should earn more? How do I go about this without offending people? Do you think wages should increase and coaches should earn more? You do hear a lot of chatter about this online that like, and now like this is a very broad one. So coach, like, so what type of coach in what, like the industry is a broad thing, but then there's like personal trainers, there's online coaches, there's strength and conditioning coaches, working in amateur sport, working for themselves, working for organizations, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of different, things to try and cover here. So I won't get into like individually. I don't know enough about like, I know I hear S&C coaches aren't paid particularly well in professional sports and they're asked to do long hours and things like that. You hear that from some parts. I honestly don't know enough about it. I don't have a reference point to really compare. So I don't know. I did work in one of those settings before, but that wasn't at a time where I was particularly, like money wasn't my motivator. So I was just happy to be there at the time and was learning a lot and was enjoying it. So money wasn't my motivator at that time. So I didn't really think I was being underpaid at the time. Even if I was, I didn't care. And actually, like, I didn't want to do the job for free, but I probably would have done the job for free if I needed to. So do you think, look, I'm a capitalist. I think I like to I think the free market should decide. So like, people will be critical on social media of these big Instagram coaches, like with big followings who are obviously earning a lot of money, but like no one is. I know some of them like might be con many kind of stuff, right? And that's a little bit different. But for the most part, like they mostly believe that they're doing the right things for their people, and no one is forcing people to pay them money. No one is saying like those coaches that when they put up a video on Instagram and say like buy my template, this and that, they're not forcing the person to buy the thing. So like the people that are giving the money are exchanging value. They're saying, yes, you have convinced me with your work over the last X amount of time that I should buy your thing. So like the market is deciding, and you shouldn't be critical of these people for making money, making a lot of money and saying like, oh, I'm a better coach than that person, but he earns $1 million a year and I earn $20,000 a year. Like, you shouldn't be critical of that person. You should think, what is he doing that I'm not doing? What, like, he's doing something that you're not doing. And it's not to say that he's a better coach than you, but maybe he is. Maybe his communication skills are better. And maybe you're not that good a coach if you actually can't convince someone to get people to work with you in the first place. That is part of coaching. Apple what would be the point in having the best phone if no one would actually buy it? It's like, okay, once I get it in their hand, I know they'll love it. And that's a lot of coaches. Once they come and work with me, I know they'll love it, but I can't get them to come and work with me. Like, that's part of the job, is getting people in, getting referrals, getting word of mouth, using your marketing, using your brand, using your voice. That is, like it or not, that is part of the job. So should you earn more money? I want to normalize, ultimately, I want to normalize coaches and therapists making a lot of money. And I mean a lot of money. I want to normalize that. And I want to normalize them having a shit ton of fun and getting a lot of job satisfaction and getting unbelievable client results, and also having an unbelievable work-life balance, or whatever that means for you. So I want to normalize all of those things, but I know that that's not going to be normal for every single coach. So part of my goal is to normalize it for the people that are interested in listening to this podcast, for example. I want anyone who listens to this podcast and is actually honest about trying to get better results for their clients, that's why I talk about some of the business stuff as well, because I want to normalize them actually understanding how this stuff works, how you can make money, making more money, getting better results, having more fun in your job, having a better work-life balance. All of these things, I think it's really, really important. Okay. So should you earn more? No is the answer, I think. No, you shouldn't. You don't have a right to just earn more just because you're a coach in the industry, just because people are whinging that they're not earning enough. I don't think you should just earn more just because you want to earn more or because the average is low. Be better than the average. Be way better than the average. So like, should a coach earn more? On average, should they earn more? Look at what a lot of coaches are doing with their clients. The answer is no, they fucking shouldn't. They're terrible at their job. Therapists are absolutely trash at their job. No, they shouldn't earn more. And it shouldn't be, okay, if I earn more, I would go and learn more and get better results. That's not how life works. You work for it and then you get it. Okay. So I want to normalize that, earning a shit ton, getting great results, having great fun, enjoying your job, helping, and also, sorry, last most important thing there is being a good person. So that needs to be normalized, but that won't be normal for the average coach, but it's normal for hopefully the people that that are interested in this stuff. It's not uncommon for them to earn a lot of money and get great results and have a lot of fun and be a nice person and enjoy their life and blah blah blah. So I think that's normal for them, but it's not going to be normal for the industry. Okay, so sorry, it went on a little bit there. Okay, I think last one. How do I get the other coaches and physios to buy into all of this stuff that you talk about? I have seen great results with my clients, but they haven't embraced it yet. Okay, so how do I get the other coaches and physios to buy into all this stuff? So obviously, like having conversations. So having conversations with other coaches and physios and just anyone that you kind of work with, like you should be talking to your peers and your friends and stuff about like, here's what I'm learning, here's what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think you should be trying to convince anyone to buy into it or anything like that. It sounds like you might all be under the one roof as coaches and physios and under the one roof. But regardless, you should be, but it's nice to talk to your peers about like, oh, what way are you working at the moment? Oh, I've kind of changed my mind on X, Y, and Z. This is what I'm doing with that thing at the moment. This is how I'm writing my programs now, blah, blah, blah. So I think that's important to get different points of view. But how do you get them to buy in? I don't think it's the same as someone asked me recently, like, how do I get my dad to do lower body basics? I was like, or how do I convince him to do lower body basics? I was like, like if you're asking me how you convince him to do lower body basics, then I don't know if I can help you because you know him better than me. And if like, he probably just won't do it if you're having to work hard to convince someone. So how do you get them to buy in? I think the best and mostly the only way, if they're not necessarily super interested in what you're saying when you're just having these conversations, is to just be like, to just set an example, to be honest, and be an inspiration and an example to them based on, like I was saying before, like they should start to see the results that you get with your clients. They should start to see how much happier you are and how much more clarity you have when you're working. So like when they see that, oh, you're so much more clear in your assessment than me. Your coaching has improved. The way you use your words is improving. Your clients are looking much happier. They're having more fun in their sessions. Imagine that. Your clients are actually having fun. You can challenge them. You are the boss. You are not just pandering to them saying, okay, rub this area. Oh, I'm a bit tight, rub that area. No, you are the one leading the sessions. You are enjoying it. You're able to take a little bit of a back seat in terms of, I'm not the one working my arse off trying to get this client. I'm telling them, okay, next exercise, or that's good, but we're going to tweak it up a little bit. So like you're being an inspiration and an example by showing them how much more fun your sessions are, how much fun you're having, how much fun your clients are having, how much faster they're improving, how much more maybe money you're making. Now, if you're all under the one roof, maybe you're paid a set rate or whatever, but like, or maybe not, maybe it's based on client retention or whatever, but like how quickly will one of your colleagues or your peers start to pay attention if you get your clients are like referring all of their friends and your books, like people are screaming to get in with you, but they are not getting any of that. Like, of course they're going to start to pay attention. So the easiest way is not to tell someone like, this is the way I think you should do it, you really need to check this out. It's to show them by getting great results. So that social proof is the biggest thing, I think. So if they haven't like embraced it just with conversations, or even if it hasn't interested them, then you just need to set an example. And honestly, like if they don't, like, who cares? So you can just be, oh, maybe look, no, not who cares. Maybe you care. Maybe you want to feel like you're all doing similar things together. But I would say like, who cares? It's not the end of the world. You don't need to convince anyone. So yeah, okay. So I think that's the podcast. Few things that keep coming up over the last few weeks, and hopefully it's a little bit helpful to people. Maybe not. As always, you should jump on DJR Interactive if you're interested in learning more about biomechanics and rehab and coaching and assessments and just every single thing that I kind of talk about. There's a ticket or two left for Sydney. There's a ticket for the business event with Jamie in Melbourne, I think on the 5th of Feb. So that would be a really good night if you want to come to that. We're spending 3 hours there. And then what else? Lower body basics, upper body basics, core basics. Goes without saying that you should own all of those. One guy actually on my story said, I put up a Q&A box on Instagram, and he said that I just finally bought lower body basics after years of listening to your podcast. So like this podcast, I presume, and then other podcasts that I've been guests on. And I really was like, that actually stood out. I was like, I thought everyone who listens to the podcast, because like probably between 800 and 1,000 people will listen to this podcast over the next like first couple of weeks that it comes out, or first week or so. And we sold 10,000 lower body basics programs. So like, surely out of the 10,000, the 1,000 that spend half an hour or an hour listening to the podcast have bought it, but maybe not. Maybe you're one of the people, one of the 1% that haven't. So you should. So check out lower body basics, core basics, and upper body basics. And then obviously DJR Interactive for all the thought process and the theory behind all of that stuff. People do ask me all the time, like, oh, I'm a coach or I'm a therapist. Should I buy lower body basics? Or should I just jump straight into DJR Interactive? And I do think like getting lower body basics first is really important, because it just gives you such quick wins. It just I look, I know that's me saying that, and I'm biased, blah blah blah. I am. I'm not going to say otherwise. But like, I think just seeing the exercises, seeing how it's structured, seeing how I coach some of the exercises, it gives you things to use and feel, and you get the exercise library and all that stuff. And I do think it's a really quick, easy win for a lot of people. So yeah, hope that podcast was helpful, and I will talk to you guys next time. Take care.